Welcome to our
Open Tabs. I'm Jess.
I'm Mara.
And we're here with TikTok mess, which I know y'all love.
You guys do. We're in the trenches, doing the hard-hitting investigative journalism that you guys have come to know and love.
You're welcome.
AKA just, doom scrolling through TikTok.
Informative and entertaining.
So for those of you with an actual life,
here you go.
Here you go.
I am always counting down the hours till I can rot in bed and scroll TikTok. So,
girl, same. How was your holiday time?
Very quiet. For like on the actual holiday, because we celebrated a little early with Andrew's family, and he and I also like exchanged gifts early. So, just real quiet around these parts. How about you?
I did the same thing. We did Christmas early, so I love quiet Christmas. I've found out, like, it's just peaceful. It's me and the cats, and I'll go see, I have friends in town, so we'll pop over for lunch or something, but.
Yeah, it was me and Nigel at a fake fireplace on the TV. My new couch just sinking in.
I mean, enjoying that couch while you're paying it off, I feel like is what you should be doing.
Why does furniture cost so much?
It is. Okay, I know we've got an agenda, but can I just say, my current rug has been torn to hell by the cats. So I was like looking into rugs are so expensive. Like, what in the world?
You're covering my floor.
You're literally
the audacity to be. I mean, even as I'm like, oh, this rug's on sale, $150.
I know. Like, I waited until the after Christmas sale to get 20% off, and it was still like $1,000. I was like, well, there's my Christmas bonus. Okay. That didn't last long.
Learning how much, just furniture in general, but especially rugs, I was like, excuse me?
They got some damn nerve, I feel like. Because I would be into it if they weren't machine made. If they're like hand making it, of course.
If this was made by hand, that makes sense.
That makes complete, but I don't believe that's the case. I believe that this is a machine tufting it, and
I'm upset about it.
And couches are like $3,000 minimum to get a decent one. Like, it's insane.
Because I'm like, yeah, sure, I could get a $400 couch from Amazon, but what does that sound like? I wanted something that would be comfortable, obviously look stylish, but also I wanted to last a long time.
Like I wanted something I can recover. Exactly. I want something I can recover and like actually make Segueing into TikTok, I did see a TikTok comparing couch prices from Ikea from now versus 5 years ago, and the same damn couch was like 3 times as much. And I was like, Ikea's got some damn nerve. You are here to be
who you are. Let's look within.
Yeah, okay? Channel your inner Mufasa and reflect. You are more than what you have become. You are here.
You're supposed to be the affordable option, okay?
Yes.
All those instructions, all those pieces, and you want to increase these prices? No.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like IKEA couches are not comfortable. It's not like you're paying for comfort.
Yeah. They're short, like the. I remember when we were in Sicily, I would go to IKEA, and I would be like, why? Because a lot of European couches are just like the backs are very short, and I would sit on these. I'm like, this is not comfortable. So to raise the price is audacious.
Oh, with that like 1-inch polyfoam cushion you've got, like charging $2,000. It's like, IKEA, you have got to get a grip here.
If I sit on it for too long, I don't think it's gonna pop back up.
I mean,
like. Yeah, I need all of this inflation. I think we all need to look. We need to look within.
Yeah, the change starts with us.
Hello,
like be the change you want to see in the world, IKEA. This is insane.
Immediately, okay, immediately.
You've got flat pat particle board. Like, know your place in the.
Yes. I remember when they increased the price of the Billy bookshelves and people were mad. And I'm like, you have some nerve to be up here charging that much for some particle board bookshelves.
I mean,
nerve.
They are slightly better than the Target ones, but not by much. Not by much. I'll
No.
haul my cookies to Target and pick up a,
Yeah.
$150 particle board special if you're
Yeah.
gonna charge me $400 for a bookcase from IKEA.
These are from IKEA, and I know it's hard to see, but these are not the Billy. It's like Himness. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, which is like,
Mhm.
I guess, a step up. And I like these more.
I would have never known those were from IKEA. They look great.
I know people like the Billy because of like the corner piece, like you could do the whole like wraparound thing, but I
That is
just,
nice.
I'm like, but
We're
yeah,
getting
I don't even
we're
want to know how
getting
much these are now.
close to a time where I'm gonna need to figure out a better corner
Mm,
situation,
yeah.
but that's a future problem.
Future Mara problem.
Exactly. A current Mara, educational moment
Mhm.
is what your tabs on TikTok have been like. What's
Oh,
your algo serving to
oh
you these days?
man, it is a lot. It's going on a lot. Of course, there's still a lot about Palestine, free Palestine.
As always.
But so one small thing that I've been seeing, and I don't know, it has just been giving me a hee haw. I don't know why, but it's Toronto Run Club TikTok, and I don't know if that's the right name. It might be. I've seen some people say Midnight Run Club, but anyway, Toronto in Canada, or Toronto. Is that what the natives say? Toronto, not
Toronto.
Toronto. Toronto.
There are some wild accents in Toronto.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
if you've ever
Toronto.
heard what's her face? Sniper Wolf, her, like, performative shtick is to do her
Oh
imitation of a
no.
Toronto accent. It's pretty wild.
Toronto. So this girl made a tick, or this, let me stop. This person, I don't know their pronouns or what they
Oh,
made
look
a
at you.
TikTok,
Exclusive queen.
and they were like, I just got attacked by one of the wildest gangs in Toronto. And I was like, oh my God. And they're like, it's Toronto Run Club. So apparently there's running clubs, which I've heard of, but
Mhm.
Toronto, I don't know. Toronto has multiple, and they run together in the most public of places. So not on running trails, they're running through like downtown where it's busy, pedestrians walking on the sidewalk, and they're running at packs. There's not like one or two, it's like 10 or 15 of them.
Like the running of the bulls?
Yeah, yes. And apparently they're very rude.
Mm.
Excuse me.
That doesn't surprise me. I feel like runners, I mean, peace and love to those of you who are runners, but, like, some of your kin are
Mm.
very proud of the fact that they are runners.
They're like, get out of my way. So they were saying that like this is, not the first time they've encountered them, that they always, when they're running on the sidewalks, they think they have the right of way, and they'll just
Mhm.
basically bulldoze through people, like, really shoulder check you, and they were like, and they
Jeez.
hit my bag, and they like swung around, and so many people have started, stitching and saying, someone said that someone kicked their dog once, that they like they,
What?
yeah, while running, and that they yeah, are always in the most busy areas, and they're like, you have to basically jump out of the way because they will just bulldoze.
Oh, no. Jess just left me. Okay, she's back.
Oh, did I do that?
I think Toronto, uh, heard you
Oh my
shit talking
God.
and kicked you out.
Yeah, but so, and then so I guess they have leaders who like lead the runs, and I
Okay.
saw this guy who made a stitch and was saying that like it's definitely he's seen a lot of bad behavior, and that leaders need to step up and really like reel it in. But then
Mhm.
somebody else was saying like they are, or some people were talking about how it's more social than running. Like they do a lot of like, yeah, they're running together, but it's more to like hang out and less focus on running. And some people were like, well, that's what some people want to do. But then this one girl was like, well, I want to run to get better at running. And they don't really focus on that. They're like, running about running and then going to get pizza and beer and blah, blah, blah. And then this one girl said, allegedly, that she heard they be getting even down even worse than that. And they be snorting things and be having who knows? I don't know. It just kept getting, I was like, what's going on with the running? But that one has just been Because the videos of people talking about it have just been so funny. Like this one girl was like a herd of buffaloes when they were describing people,
Oh my
and I was
god.
like, and then there's video like you can look on TikTok and put like
Yeah.
midnight run, and you'll see like hordes of them running together through. But I'm like, why are you running?
Why are you
I don't
running
know
in
if
this?
they
Do
don't
they
have
not
any
have a
running
park?
trails. Yeah, I apparently
Because
not.
like I know in New York City, there's always like a ton of different running clubs in Central Park.
Yeah, maybe they
So
don't. But I
I don't
saw someone's
know.
video of them just like running down the sidewalk, and I'm like, that's it makes sense when you see like one or two, but like 15 people all running together at the same time down the sidewalk, that seems
Well,
ridiculous.
and this is okay, I'm probably more aware of this as a fat person than other people are, but people do not have enough consideration about the inconvenience of walking side by side on sidewalks.
Oh my
Like
god.
the number of people who just like will walk three abreast
Yep.
just without a care in the world, making everybody, and like I'm always hyper aware of like I don't, I do take up more space and I don't want to like inconvenience people, and people are mean to you if you bump into them if you're fat. Like it's a whole thing. So like I'm hyper aware of that, but people are just like so inconsiderate about sidewalk
Yes.
etiquette when they're walking. So I can imagine when they're running, they're like even
Yeah.
more of a
Oh
menace.
my god, I cannot stand when people do that. I'm like, what do you think is going on here? Are you the only people that exist?
Two max.
Like
That's your maximum
absolutely.
allocated
Yeah.
together walking. And if there's
Well,
three of you, I'm sorry, one of you's gonna have to be the awkward third wheel walking in front or behind.
yep. Oh
I
well.
don't know what to tell you.
Sorry. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's just individualism, selfishness, I don't know what you want to call it. It is a plague upon humanity. That's what
Yeah.
really what Toronto TikTok running what
Well,
it came down to
I'm
me.
supportive of like the social aspect. Like I think that's great. It's hard to meet people as adults, like for friend stuff.
True.
Love that for you. Just don't be jerks to people around you.
It seems so easy. And yet this is one of the most complicated things for humans in general. Don't be an
Yeah.
asshole. It's
Don't be
very
an
hard
out
for people.
when you're in public, there are other people. That's like the definition of public. You
Yeah,
can
I
do what you
mean,
want in the
do
privacy
I
of your own
scream
home, but
internally when I go to the bookstore and other people dare be there? Yes. But
yeah.
I'm not going to be like, get out of my way. How dare you be here in this public bookstore?
I was at okay, that's so funny you say that. I was at McKay's today. That's what I did on my like lunch break. I ran and like did a McKay's drop. And people in line were visibly or like audibly talking about like, can you believe how many people are here today? I wouldn't have come if I knew there were so many people. And I'm like,
The
this
accent.
is literally the most popular week of the year at McKay's
Hello.
because everybody just got Christmas money and so they're coming to the store. Like, what are you talking about?
Can you believe
Can
this?
you
I
believe it?
sure
And
can.
like, and they wouldn't keep like the security guard kept having to come up and be like, y'all need to get together. Like, I need you to keep the line because it was going so far back. It was like blocking traffic. It was like a safety hazard. And I was like, if you thought you were the only person who thought like, oh, I don't have a lot going on this week at work, I'll go to McKay's.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You're not the only one.
No. I mean, am I always flabbergasted when people are flying the same? I'm like, how is everyone leaving Shreveport going to Denver at the same time? I'm going. But there's a lot
On
of people on this flight.
why are there so many people traveling on the day before Thanksgiving? I'm trying to get
What?
home to my family. Like, what are you doing?
Crazy.
I know.
Like it is crazy. So TLDR, the runners of Toronto
Are
are
a public
assholes.
hazard.
a nuisance, it seems.
Sound off below if you are in Toronto, if you've observed this, if you are one of those runners, explain
Ooh.
yourself.
And also, how do
Um,
I pronounce it? Is it
yeah, also,
Toronto?
yeah, what's the preferred
Toronto?
pronunciation?
Like people from Atlanta don't say they're like Atlanta. They're not
And
saying Atlanta.
and
It's like
it's
Atlanta.
not Louisville, it's Louisville.
So
Yeah.
help us out. Help us out.
Help us uh do some cultural celebration of how you
Yes.
pronounce your fair city.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to visit one day, the six, Drizzy's hometown. Um, next up on my tab, if I can go bloop to that one, is what was I gonna? Oh, Simone Biles' husband.
I am very excited to find out about this because I have not seen whatever happened, I've just seen people commenting on
Reacting.
his audacity, and I want to share in their indignation, but I don't know what happened.
So we all know who Simone Biles is. Do you
Of
know who
course.
Simone Biles is?
Once in a lifetime athlete, sure.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. So there was an interview, unfortunately, on a podcast with a man. Ugh.
Well, that was red flag number 1, honestly.
Hello. Her and her husband, whose name I still don't know and don't care to.
Yeah,
Um,
why bother?
so I'm gonna go ahead and say no, I did not watch the whole thing because some people are like, well, people didn't watch the whole thing, and I'll explain why. So the part that we saw that got everyone mad is him. I guess kind of they're kind of saying how they met, and they met on like Celebrity Tinder. Basically, it's like Tinder for celebrity people. It's called like
Oh, yeah.
Raya or something.
Yeah,
And
I've heard people in LA who are, like, trying to get on there.
I wonder
Like,
how they
it's a
like
thing.
verify it.
I think you have to, like, be vetted if you're not famous, like, to be a
Mm.
potential match, like, it's selective, so if you get
King
on there, it's
Hassan is on
exciting.
there. He was making pasta with his mama in Florence.
A brief moment. This is your Hassan Thirst corner moment of the podcast, which is becoming a weekly occurrence.
The thirst corner.
Everybody just pause and thirst. Okay. He is probably, I bet he is on there. Yeah. But I've seen people who work at, like, different media companies who've tried to get on there. So, like, there's normies in that, but you have to, like, get vetted to show that you're not a crazy. But
Maybe
yes,
it's rich
there is a
people
thing.
and not just celebrity?
I think it's like rich people, normies who are vetted, and celebrities.
Okay. So, a cut above the rest.
Yeah.
So he was talking about seeing her and then like going and being like, oh, Simone, like I guess I'm assuming her real name was on there and being like, oh, who is
Well,
this?
yeah, I'm sure.
And then goes to her Instagram and he was like, oh, I didn't know who she was. I just saw she had a lot of Instagram followers.
What does he do? How is he on there?
Apparently he plays in the NFL. Never heard of the man. Not like I follow the NFL extensively anymore.
Okay.
I used to.
But then I definitely call it. If he's an athlete, there's no way. Like, yeah, there's no way.
Andrew didn't know, and he watches. And then that's been a trend of women asking their dads, brothers, partners, like, you know who Simone Biles is, and they're like, of course. And they're like, do you know who her husband is? And they're like, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, she's like a generational talent.
Yes, and he
like
is
Michael Phelps or whoever.
Michael Jordan. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he also said on this podcast, saying like, I forgot if the interviewer asked, but he basically said, or no, the interviewer was like, are you asking yourself like, wow, how did I pull Simone Biles? Or he asked him that basically like, how did you pull Simone Biles? And he was like, I mean, I'm really the prize. And then later in the interview, Simone, because she's sitting there just grinning, and she's like, one day.
Was he being sarcastic? Oh, wow. Wow.
Or maybe he was. It's not like, I don't know. But she was like, one day they won't be calling him Simone Biles' husband. They'll be calling me blah, blah, blah's wife. Again, I don't remember the man's name. So it's like, no, girl, honey. We won't.
No, that's okay.
We won't be doing that.
No. Okay. Another generational talent, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
I vaguely recognize her husband now just because I see him with her.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but both of them have the correct energy, which is he is aware. He is Mr. Serena Williams, and they both know it, and they are both cool with it. Like, that's exactly as it should be.
Yes. And here's my thing with like, even if not watching the whole interview or even if it was sarcastic, it's like seems like there's a trend of men, especially with men who are with famous women like Keke Palmer's baby daddy, getting with super talented, amazing, sexy, badass women and then trying to humble them.
They don't need to be humbled. They don't need to be humbled. You need to come to their level.
Yes.
Like, get on their level. people. Don't bring them down to yours.
And then of course, people have been going in, and I guess she posted on Twitter like, "Are y'all done yet?" And of course, people were like, "Nope."
No.
Girl,
No.
Christmas break. We got time.
I've got nothing but time for
like,
this.
because it's just like, and again, I don't know what team he plays for. I don't know the man's name.
I wouldn't be. Speaking of Kiki Palmer, sorry to this man. I wouldn't know if I passed him in the street. I don't know this man.
And his spaghetti strap braids. Sorry, somebody else he calls them. But it's just like, it just makes me sad because I'm like, you. And then people did find tweets of his from like,
of course they did,
where he was tweeting about, I think it was the 2012 Olympics, and it was about, is it what was her name?
Gabby.
I can't remember her last name.
Gabby.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. And he was tweeting about that. It's like, so yeah, you were paying attention to Olympics and you knew who she was. So it's like, what was the point of even saying that? So it felt like he was more just trying to be like cool to another dude on the podcast. But it just is like, for what? Why not sit there and be like, yeah, I don't know how I pulled Simone Biles, but I got lucky.
Exactly. That's the correct, I just don't understand men who don't get that is the correct energy. Yeah. It's like, you look cool to, like, there's no self-respecting man who's not going to understand that.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand why you feel like you need to try to humble someone who is, I mean, like, it speaks well to you that she chose you.
Hello? Why wouldn't you be like, heck yeah? I mean, I don't know what you saw in me, but
she's beautiful, she's talented, and she's going to be my sugar mama. I love this.
Yes, we need to channel more Mrs. Serena Williams and who is Ciara married to? That man, Russell, whatever. Those people who are like, I married a baddie, and they are like, you do you, and I'm here to support you. Not like, oh, what did Keke Palmer's baby daddy say? Something like, oh, you're a mother, like you don't need to be wearing that. Oh, you married a bad bitch.
Like, what are you expecting?
Hello? Oh, I'm sick of it. But,
no.
Simone is young.
That makes me really sad for her, actually, because I'm like, I hope he either learns and they can stay together, or I hope she realizes and gets out, because she needs to be with somebody who is celebrating her, not I mean, because I saw this amazing,
you know how their relationship is. It's like, but that's on the public stage, and that's the time you want someone to be hyping you up and like you in front of people.
Exactly. She needs to be like this TikTok I saw of this person who was heckling Serena Williams when she was with her husband out in public, and this little tiny blonde white girl ran up to him and started screaming. He's like, "You do not do this! Serena Williams is an American treasure!" And I was like, that is the correct energy. Like, that. And her husband was like, loving. They both love that. But I'm like, that's the correct energy. Like, Simone Biles is an American treasure. Like, respect who you're with.
One of my favorite TikToks was someone asking their mom, and she was like, of course, Simone Biles, the #1, the greatest of all time. And then she was like, you know who her husband is? She's like, I don't know. That man plays in the NBA or something. And she was like, and they told him he was in the NFL and what he said. And she was like, he said what? That man could pay for the LPGA, for the women's golf team, for all I know. I don't know that. Amazing. And still, in every video, it's Simone Biles' husband. So I hope
I don't know his name, and I'm now going to make it a point to never know his name.
Exactly. Same with Keke Palmer's sperm donor.
I don't care. Don't care. Yeah. Her sperm donor, I guess. I don't know.
So, Anyway, been loving the stitches on that.
I'm glad to know finally what he did, because
now you can watch the stitches with appreciation and be like, SMH.
He truly is a piece of trash. Yeah.
Yep. Finally, my coup de grace. I don't even know if I use that word right, but
you did.
A phrase.
Yeah.
So 9-month cruise TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
The never-ending adventure. So I never knew extended cruises like this were a thing. I knew, like, I've been on two cruises a long time ago, 5 day and a 7 day. I knew
Mm-hmm.
there were like 14-day cruises, and maybe I saw like a 21, but I never knew they did cruises this long. But apparently, it's a thing that happens.
It is. Sneak peek into my parents' life. My mom is a rich bitch, and uh, when dad was still alive, it was one of their dreams to do one of these cruises.
Yeah.
They were going to do like a 6 month one, I think.
Damn.
But they did do a repositioning cruise, which is not as expensive and is different, where if they're bringing a cruise ship back from somewhere in the world to a different area of the world, you
Mm-hmm.
can ride along and get it discounted. So if you ever want to go on a really long cruise for less, they went from
Oh,
Australia to California.
how long was that?
Well, it was supposed to be longer, but there was a health issue and they had to come back early, but I think it was
Mm.
supposed to be like a month or maybe
I
2.
feel like that would I just don't know. And granted, I went on a cruise a long time ago. I just don't know if how long I could stay on a ship. Like, I don't have seasickness, I don't have motion sickness, but just I don't know. The
I have a sensitive tummy, and
yeah.
that sounds like a dysentery outbreak waiting to happen. I don't know. Like it just after COVID, I just don't think I could
Yeah.
ever get on an extended cruise ship again.
That's what makes me nervous after COVID and that
Yeah.
ship being stuck. So
Yes,
the
that sounds like a
9 month
literal
yes.
nightmare. I
So
cannot
this
imagine.
one, there are people who are on it for the entire 9 months. It took, I think they're on like the second or third week, maybe. It took off from Miami. And then there's segmenters. So they have certain segments that you can get on that are only like maybe a month or two. I don't know how long, but so some
Yeah.
people may get on further into the cruise.
Mhm. For, like,
And
different regions, because I think that's what my
yeah,
parents wanted to do, because they really wanted to do the, like, around South America one,
yeah.
which takes, like, 4 or 5 months, I think, but it's, like, a segment of it.
Yeah. So apparently they're going to touch all seven continents. Well, except Antarctica, they're only doing really a cruise by. They don't get to get on
Yeah.
Antarctica. Um,
That's what my
which
mom's doing for her Christmas next year, is going to do an Antarctica cruise.
oh my God, can
She
she
is doing
adopt me?
retirement right. She
Oh,
is a rich bitch, and she travels and is
does she need a
fabulous.
personal assistant?
I will let her know.
I want to go, but because I've wanted to go on a cruise to Antarctica, and I've looked it up, like flying to,
Mhm.
I guess you have different options, but flying to South America to, I think this
Yeah.
one was to like Uruguay, or it was, and then, but then you're taking the boat from there to
Mhm.
Antarctica, but then the passage you have to go through, Drake's Passage. Now, I don't know if you've been seeing North Sea TikToks, but
Okay,
Drake's Passage is not fun either.
so I have not seen the actual images of North Sea or Drake Passage TikTok, but I've seen many people talking about
Yeah.
being on North Sea and
Yeah.
Drake Passage TikTok, and I'm like, I don't want to look because it sounds like it's
No.
super scary, but
North Sea is up like by Europe, but yeah, the pass. So that's gonna it's gonna be interesting when they're getting to that part of the cruise. But so you have people who, of course, are posting TikToks about the cruise, and then everyone was like, "Hold up, 9 months is really expensive." And so you had some people, because I first saw a TikTok and I just kind of skipped by it because it was someone showing like a room tour, and I was like, I don't care. And then I realized they were on this cruise for 9 months, and I went back and I'm like, okay, now I care. And this one lady, and I understand you have the right to not tell people anything, but she's giving an overview of her room. She's going to be on there for 9 months. She's kind of explaining how she afforded it. Unfortunately, she lost her parents. She's using some of her
mm.
inheritance.
Oh, I
Her
did see that.
brother
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or sister and their kids are on there. And she even went into like chances, her risk for breast cancer and having a double
Mhm.
mastectomy, all this stuff. And then she's like, I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for the cruise. You can look that up. Somebody stitched it, was like, girl, you just told us your whole life story. You can't tell us the price of this cruise.
Also,
So
just own it. I mean,
yeah, why not?
it made total sense to me what she was saying. Like, if you can
Yeah,
afford it and you don't think you're gonna
life.
have a long life expectancy, like,
Yeah.
that makes complete
And
sense.
so, of course, someone went and looked it up. So the cheapest, it seems like if you're doing the full 9 months, is 120 grand because it's 60 grand per person, but that's double occupancy. So you can't just, it's just not
Okay.
60 grand.
Woof.
Yeah. So that's obviously your food included
I guess.
for
Maybe if
most
you
of the
can
things. They
sublet
have
your house or your
That's what
apartment.
my biggest thing is like, what are you doing? Are you like paying a mortgage this whole time,
That's
or are you
yeah,
paying rent?
I I maybe
Because
could get
there's
my head around it a little bit if it's like this is like I'm
yeah,
getting money for my
people who are retired makes more sense to me. Or like
yeah,
there was the couple who was like going on cruises because it was cheaper than paying for a nice retirement home. But I'm like, there's people of all
yeah.
ages on here, 30s, 40s, kids that they're homeschooling. I'm like, what are you doing with your home? Back
I guess I
off.
just if you're gonna drop 120, and that's like I'm assuming for the no windows
Yes,
one,
that is
right?
an
Which
interior. That is
I
the
could not do.
base. No, that's the
No,
baseline. And some of
no.
these people have like a two-story suite.
Okay, if you're doing that, why are you not just renting a private yacht to do the same thing?
I don't I just find it like, even if I had 120 grand, which obviously
Yeah.
is the bottom, I'm not spending it on a cruise. Or not
No.
spending all of it on a cruise. Like
I just
I
I
don't
don't
get it.
think I think if you have 120 grand to just spend on a
Hmm.
vacation in a year on basically a year-long vacation, I just don't think that's how you would do it. Like I
No,
think you could even like go in with maybe a couple of other people on getting on commissioning like a personal
yes.
yacht or like that can do those
I'm
oversea
flabbergasted.
trips. I don't know why you would subject yourself to. Also, have you heard about the stories of sexual assault on these cruises?
No. I'm
It
not
is
surprised, but I
dark
haven't.
because
But
they're
there's
on international waters, and so like nothing
oh
ever really
yes.
happens from them, and there's all the drinking that like it's scary. I mean,
Hmm. Because
cruises
they
could
come
be
with
a
an
bit of a
unlimited
scary
drink
place.
package
Yes,
for
yeah, you get
nine
the drink.
months. You're gonna
It's
have
a
alcoholics.
And yeah, I don't know. There's been so many like dysentery outbreaks or like whatever. I forget what it is, but like
Yes.
stomach bug issue break.
Norovirus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just
So
not.
they already had
Mm-mm.
one person who tested positive for COVID, who apparently
Of
is
course.
a staff member, but they're isolated. So I have not heard further that there was an outbreak, but it's just like, yes, so you're going to have those core people there for 9 months, people on and off. There's bound to be
Oh yeah.
illnesses.
There's
You're
go-
traveling with a small town floating on water.
yeah. I just.
And someone was
Ugh.
like, of course, there's bingo boards for people are like, there's got to be some affairs that happen.
Oh
So
yeah. There's going to be
some
some babies
marriages.
born from this. There's going to be
Yes. So
marriages ended.
apparently, because somebody was like, what happens? Because this one lady was saying that they wanted you to get as much medication as you could up front, but of course, no
I
doctor's going to give you
bet.
9 months prescription. So they have a pharmacy on board that has some stuff, but basically, like, I guess they try to get enough to when they like come back around to the United States, they may have to get their prescription again. And someone said like, if you happen to get pregnant, you have to. There's like a time limit. You have to get off the. You can't be on the cruise past like 6 months or something. Because I'm like, somebody bound to get pregnant.
Oh yeah.
9 months, come on, and a limited drink package. But
Yes.
also cruise food. Like the people who've been doing the videos, cruise
Yeah.
food is fun for a few days, and they guess they have their buffet places, whatever, but I guess there's some places that they can pay for to have different food, and obviously they're stopping in a lot of ports so they can eat there. But then that's you're spending more money when you're eating at like at the ports, or if you have to pay for the restaurant.
But
um
again, if you're dropping that much on the cruise, like the money is not really it has to be that
business.
money is not an object,
Yeah,
really.
true.
But then like why are you doing this?
I don't get it.
Cuz I mean,
I don't get
I
it.
did a 10-day cruise and we had a good time. It was Royal Caribbean, the food was
Yeah,
great. Like it was a nice trip.
yeah. I
But
like Royal
like
Caribbean over Carnival. I've done
yeah,
one of each.
I think Royal Caribbean's one of the best ones from
Yeah,
what I can tell anyway. Um
I
But
don't
like
get it.
why would you do that? Like I
I
just don't
don't
get why you would
know.
do that as your year-long
That is what
world
I'm trying to
trip.
figure out, because like so obviously they're going to a lot of destinations, but also you're only, because I was like, okay, well, all this time maybe they're staying in port for multiple days, but they're only there for a day, it seems, for most of them.
Yeah.
um so obviously you can see stuff, but I just I don't know. I haven't done the math if this is the most economical way to do it. I just don't.
Maybe.
9 months on a
I
cruise
find that hard
ship,
to I
and
just
in these, and they, you have to pack. I think I forgot what they were saying with suitcases, but having to pack to live in these little, even the nicer ones that are like have a window. If you're not in like a big suite that's like has a
yeah.
patio, but then Mara, there's been new characters every day.
Oh,
It seems like
wow.
we get new people added,
Okay.
and there have been some older folks that I've been seeing on the TikTok, and a lot of them, they've been, most people don't show their room number, but they've been showing their room number, and there's a pineapple on the door. Also, the sign for hospitality, but the sign for something else. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like this is why I mean, people be fucking on these cruises. I
Because
mean,
people in the comments are like, why is it? They're like, I'm in room 805. Like, all right, was like, I see that pineapple, and then somebody was like, oh, and here's this bed for you. We have guests. Like they had a couch, just like a pull out bed. It's like, oh.
okay, can I just say that every couple that I have ever seen who I know are swingers, it's like, who is trying to
Yes,
fuck these
yes,
people? Like what?
Mara, every
Like
time. It's never who
it's
you
not
would think.
Hassan Piker. You know what I mean?
No, it's not like what like a movie would make you think of, like it's super hot, or
No.
traditionally, conventionally attract. No, it's never them.
It's
It's
like
never
a
them.
45-year-old accountant with a dad
Yes.
bod and like a mom. I don't know. I'm just like I don't know who's trying to fuck these people.
They obviously find their people, and then there's been a rift between the segmenters and the 9 monthers, because most of the 9 monthers are like, I forgot what it's called, but what, pinnacle members or something, whatever high tier
Oh, it's
thing.
like, oh, they have status.
Yeah, and so there's been different like treatment or different perks. And it's like, well, duh, that's just like
Yeah,
when I
that's
get
a
on a
part of
plane and
having status.
I have to look down when I'm
Yeah.
walking through first class, because I'm like, don't make me feel poorer than I already am. But I don't
I'm
give a
not allowed to
flying
make eye
fuck.
contact with
I'm
any
just
of
like,
the any of the
ooh,
first class people.
let me walk my peasant ass to the
Oh,
back.
to the
But
back of this
because then they
plane.
had like, yeah, because they have like town halls, and so far there's
What
not been
happens at
any.
the town hall?
So they've been town hall. I guess somebody said like they give them information, or if they're in the future any like problems, they can you know speak about it,
Oh,
I guess.
okay.
But there has been, so we do have some black people on the cruise, and there's
Whoa.
two
Okay, that's
sisters.
surprising actually.
I know, with their family, and one, she made a TikTok saying, if I get asked one more time if I work on this cruise,
Of
because she's, I
course.
guess, asked multiple times, she's part of the staff.
Of course.
I can't remember if it was her or somebody else, but they have a window in their room, but they get motion sickness, and they're like, "Here's me in my window I can't look out of. Why are you on a 9 month cruise if you have motion sickness and you got a room?" I don't get it, but do you, boo?
I
I'm just, for every day, I'm just like, wow, this is what. And obviously, spend your money how you want to spend it, but I
I
just
mean,
think I have so many other things I
I
would
just
use that money
that's
on.
what I'm really stuck on is just like, okay, let's say that $120,000 and a year of my life was something I could just like spend.
Mm-hmm.
At that well, at that point, like food must like realistically, you're gonna if you're paying that much, you're gonna have the experiences you want to have. So like
Yeah.
let's say minimal another 30,000. Like realistically, I think all in somebody who can afford to do this, like you're ultimately my guess would be dropping like $200,000 on that
Yeah,
if that's two
because
of you.
all of the you know how you do excursions?
Yeah.
Only if you're the nine, I think, I don't know if the segmenters, but with the 9 month ones, only like they're seeing like some of the world wonders are included, and then other things they have to pay for.
Yeah,
So
oh,
yeah,
I'm
you have to
sure.
come ready with a lot of
Well,
extra
and like
money.
I saw something I saw one person talking about like how if you want like they have an excursion to the Taj Mahal, but like you have to they have to fly you there when they
Yes,
because
it's
it's
not
inland.
close at all.
So like I'm just thinking about like I don't know. Again, I just can't imagine not having windows. So like what let's call it 150,000, and then if you've got food and excursions, like I'm going to say, so if I have $200,000 in a year of my life to spend, I just don't think that this is how you would do it. Like if because the convenience factor of a cruise to see things is that you don't have to pack and repack. Like that is a nice convenience factor, but like you could, there are, okay, maybe you would have to pack and repack a couple of times, but there are things you could do to like take a yacht, like commission a yacht to go like, I don't know, around the Mediterranean. And you could do that for as long as you wanted to, and you could stay in the ones that you wanted to stay in.
A yacht
You could
around the Mediterranean.
yeah, you could take another kind of boat like up through Scandinavia. I'm sure you could like pay to commission like a driver to take you through Asia to see everything you want. Like I just don't, I find it very hard to believe you couldn't have a much better experience and still not necessarily have to pack and repack all the time if you were like strategic in how you set some of that up. I just,
maybe they're fine,
I don't know.
you know, and some people are like,
or maybe they just love the cruise lifestyle.
some
I don't know.
I know some people do. That's their thing. And some people are like, oh, y'all are complaining about these room sizes. Maybe you never lived in a dorm. Okay, I did when I was 18.
And I didn't pay $120,000 for that dorm.
I'm not, because, you know, there's like these two sisters who are on there. I think they're in college. And so they're sharing a room. They have like
that.
Two,
that honestly makes more sense to me because they're used to having
but me,
crappy accommodations.
An adult for 9 months, I'm in this little thing bumping
in
my
the
elbow,
dotage of my life. No.
And
well, also I like, can I just say, as a fat person, I am sure that those bathrooms are a nightmare for any fat person because they're tiny. And so like if you are trying to move around, you can't. If you need to like change your tampon or something, there's not enough room. Like
they're little closets with like your little shower. Absolutely.
So RIP to the fat people on that cruise with a period, because like I don't know what you're doing for the next 9 months.
Oh, Lord have mercy. It just doesn't seem. It wouldn't be me. That's not what I would spend my money on. Obviously, this is not my money, but
if I ever get that kind of money, when we make our fortunes together, we will go on a vacation that is much nicer.
Yes, we're getting a yacht.
Not get sexually assaulted or food poisoning or.
Oh my God. It's because it's gonna happen, because again, it's very early on, so I'm sure there's gonna be more, and then as people get on at different ports, because you know, just people in and out, there's germs, there's all the things that are gonna happen.
There's gonna be riffraff coming in for the Scandinavian portion of the of the segment of the cruise.
I can't wait to see what happens with, because I think there was another one, the Taj Mahal, and there was another one that was like not close at all to where the port was.
Oh,
like,
Machu Picchu. Yeah. Isn't Machu Picchu like way inland or something?
You have to go way inland, and then it's a real long hike.
Yeah,
like, it's not on the coast, I don't think.
I don't think so. I think it's like up in the mountains.
So I'm confusion. And so
Mediterranean cruising makes all the sense in the world to me. There's like ports.
Ooh, I would do that.
I want to do
for 9 months.
So Bess and I are talking about, for my 40th birthday, doing a river cruise on the Rhine.
Ooh,
and doing like a Christmas market kind of situation. Start saving your doubloons so you can come with us. But like I'm so excited. Like we're gonna save up for that possibly. And then it is nice in the sense of like it's a smaller boat. Also, it's all old people. So we'll be like the hot young things at 40. And you
better watch out. You might get snatched up by a pineapple folk. They'll be like, you want to do it?
And I'll be like, Milton, I'm going to let you take that energy somewhere else.
Milton, it depends. Are you close to death?
How much money are we talking? But that is expensive. It is an expensive experience for sure. But it's, I think, like 10 days. And
that sounds like a good amount of time.
Like it's a small boat. We can escape if there is some kind of pandemic outbreak. Like we're not going to be stranded at sea
in the middle of the
and like you can go all through Europe really on these different river cruises.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they probably have that elsewhere too. But anyway, all that to say, I think that there are other options.
Yeah.
That would get you a lot more of what you want to see and a lot less.
Yeah. I'm like, because they already missed a port or had to skip it because of the weather and the tide was too low or something, so they couldn't go in. I forgot where that was.
Mother Nature fucking up plans.
I just
yeah.
Yeah, no, not no.
Which is it? Royal Caribbean? That's the line.
Yes.
Okay. So if you had a wild swinger orgy and you got pregnant on a Royal Caribbean cruise line, what do you think you're naming that baby? Like to commemorate it.
Let's see. I don't know. Oceania.
Caribbean.
Let's see. Yeah, dang it! I wish I knew the name of the boat because they might.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the answer. Is you would name her. You would name this. I'm assuming it's a girl. I don't know why, but you'd name her after the boat.
Her name's Royale Caribbean Johnson.
Hyphen Smith. But I can't wait to see the pictures of little Royale Caribbean in 18 months.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure we'll have an update maybe in a month or two or something if something else pops off. But that's been the top things right now as more new characters are introduced, and I will I'll keep notes and let you know
what kind of outbreak there is.
Do y'all think it's worth it? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, let us know if you have let's crowdsource, like what's the best if you had, let's say you had $200,000 to spend on a vacation and you could take up to 9 months to do it. How are we spending this money? That has to be better than this.
Because it's even more money than that, because the most of them didn't just like sell their house or sell, like they're also paying bills back home.
This is what I'm exactly.
Insane. I can't wait to see what y'all would do with this money.
Yeah, let us know. We'll put it together an itinerary, and when we strike it rich, when Spotify buys this podcast, this is what we'll do.
I have flapped my gums for too long.
No, you caught me up. I have a brief update, and I'm honestly a little afraid to talk about this because of the litigious nature of the parties involved. So I do just want to disclaim that these are solely opinions. You should go look at the underlying material and come to your own conclusion. Yes. And I'm not going to actually, I don't think I'm going to name the lawyer. I'm just going to call her the lawyer. And if you would like more details, I highly recommend going and checking out the coverage of this on the Do We Know Them podcast, because I think those are very entertaining and comprehensive. But based on what I've seen from that, I also saw this really great legal analysis from Runkle of the Bailey talking about this. My opinion is that Lauren the Mortician and her lawyer have gone off the rails. They have. Things have escalated since we last discussed Lauren the Mortician.
Ooh. What's been going on?
So I think when last we left, she was allegedly being unkind to an actual professional in the child safety car seat arena. Yeah. She was documented to have liked posts that some people interpreted as being in support of turfiness or being homophobic in some way. And she was kind of digging in. And that was and she had this thing of like a detox routine for the jab, or for the poke. That's what she was calling it, the poke.
Yep. For some her essential oil thing, maybe.
Yeah. So all these things were like questionable and not cool, in our opinions. But what has come out is that in addition to that, she had hired a lawyer to very aggressively put in copyright strikes to people who were discussing these topics. In my opinion, those were not done in good faith, because the things that were being struck, in my opinion, appeared to be fair use. So if you're not familiar with this, people who are not in the content creating space, you are allowed to use content from other people if it falls under the protection of fair use. So that's like for commentary, for educational purposes. So basically, like, the way that news exists is that there are fair use laws. So you're allowed to talk about, you're allowed to talk about people, you're allowed to show their picture, you're allowed to, use a little bit, like, clips of their work if you're discussing it. Like, this is how all news commentary things are legal.
Yeah. It's not just like reposting their content. It's
exactly
showing a part and talking about it.
Yeah, which is illegal, or it is likely to be considered to not be fair use. If someone downloaded this video and reposted it somewhere, just like a full re-upload and was making money off of it, we would copyright claim it, and it would be taken down through the YouTube system. Yeah. And I think in that situation, we would be well within our rights, because that is not fair use. But this lawyer has a very interesting interpretation of what copyright infringement consists of. One that I have seen pretty much every legal commentator who has talked about this disagree with her interpretation of, and it is extremely aggressive. And so she has been copyright striking things that in my opinion, are not violating fair use, but are just talking about Lauren the Mortician or her lawyer negatively.
That's not what copyright.
I mean, if that was copyright, if that was what copyright infringement was, then like the tabloids would not exist.
Hello.
Like, nobody likes people talking badly about them, but it's not a violation of fair use necessarily.
Yeah.
It could be defamation, which we will get to. So this lawyer had been doing that, and people had been commenting on it. One of these people, I believe her handle is Caffeinated Kitty on TikTok. She had been outspokenly criticizing Lauren the Mortician. Both Lauren the Mortician and her lawyer, who have admitted that they did this, both called in a wellness check to the police on this creator.
That is so dangerous.
That is so dangerous. You have no idea what's going on in that person's personal life. And like,
how did they find her?
I don't know. I think they knew enough to know what area she was in.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they both admitted that each of them did this. So there's that, which people commented on and were critical of. In my opinion, rightly so. I am also critical of that, because I think it's very dangerous to just be calling in wellness checks to people you don't know on the internet because you have internet beef. Like,
hello? We know the police are dangerous.
Yeah, in my opinion, that is very irresponsible. And considering that the lawyer also repeatedly said she was a lawyer and like gave her bar number on this 911 call, or not 911, sorry, I believe it was the non-emergency line. I would also argue that that was an unethical use of her profession.
Yes!
In my lay opinion, that was unethical. Being very cautious here because of things we are going to talk about. Yes. So after that happened, the lawyer on behalf of Lauren the Mortician sent a cease and desist to this creator. And I highly recommend people go look it up. In my opinion, it's one of the wildest legal documents I've ever seen. Both Jess and I are very avid consumers of LawTube. So like we've seen lots of legal documents at this point and had them read. And this one begins with I don't want to quote it directly because I don't want there to be any basis to be accused of some kind of copyright infringement. But it was if I'm recalling correct, my recollection is that the beginning of this letter has like, please make sure you are in a good space. We are worried about your mental health. And if you are not in a good space, this might send you spiraling.
Oh.
I believe spiraling was a direct quote. And then like went through, and it's just like, in my opinion, seems to be a bunch of legal garbledy-gook that is, it appears, in my opinion, to be with the intention of intimidating this person out of not speaking about the lawyer or Lauren the mortician anymore.
Oh my word.
So and it's like 6 pages long.
Oh my god. Are they usually that long?
No, they're usually like a page max.
Yeah, I'm like, aren't those pretty short?
They're usually like, hey, we know you're doing XYZ. Please stop. If you don't, here's what's going to happen. So the lawyers I've seen commentating on this all agree that in their opinion, it is not a well-formed cease and desist and is not, does not seem to be based in a lot of fact. Who?
Has Natalie done a video on this?
No. Runkle of the Bailey is the one I would recommend.
Okay.
He's been on Emily D. Baker's channel. I think he's been on a couple of Natalie's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's in Canada, so I think that's part of why he feels freer to do this, because so far there's not been anything sent to commentators in Canada or the UK.
Oh, because Lauren's in the US, right?
Yes. So that cease and desist went out, and then as people continued to talk about this, finally there was like all these copyright strikes happening on YouTube. Those were overturned because YouTube ultimately deemed them to be incorrect usage of a DCM takedown. Mm-hmm. So essentially, like, the next action is that the person would have to take the people to court. So the lawyer is taking those people to court for copyright infringement. What? And then both, yeah.
You can...
For literally YouTube... showing like, in my recollection, because I did not look at this, but I believe it was for like showing us, 10 seconds of a TikTok, showing the words that were a comment on a TikTok. Like, things that in my long time consumption of commentary YouTube are considered to be well within the normal bounds of commentary and fair use.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So in my opinion, those were very frivolous. YouTube seems to agree, considering that they reinstated everything. And I will be very surprised if, when this goes through, this person prevails. The other thing that they did, though, is that both Lauren the Mortician's lawyer and Lauren the Mortician have gotten another lawyer, and they are now suing 2 TikTokers and 2 YouTubers for defamation.
Wait, her and the lawyer got a lawyer?
Her and the lawyer got a lawyer to sue for defamation. And the allegations, it's just like, have you ever seen internet beef before? Like, this is just how it, like, if you do things, people can comment on what their opinion is about it. In my opinion, people can come to conclusions based on your actions. Like,
yes, I know, I'm no legal professional.
No,
I have
neither of us are.
From watching what happened with Tasha K and Cardi B.
Yes,
that defamation is often hard to prove, but that one, now that made sense.
Yeah,
because she was relentless. Mm-hmm. And side note, she also is having another case against her now from Kevin Hart because she won't shut her mouth. But
oh my God. Well, also, isn't truth an absolute defense to defamation?
What?
Like, if you're not lying about the person.
Oh yeah, which this with Lauren sounds like it's commenting.
It's an opinion about the action somebody did.
Yeah, not just making, because Tasha K was just making shit up, and lying and saying all these terrible things about Cardi B. But this,
it's especially
her and the lawyer.
The lawyer. I have seen legal commentators, in their opinion, commenting that they will not be surprised if this lawyer faces some kind of professional repercussions from this action, because in their opinion does not seem to be in accordance with the standards that they agreed to abide by.
Now, my lay opinion, because again,
Yeah.
not a legal professional, but just the part with the wellness call or wellness check.
That alone.
That seems like way outside of the boundaries or what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Or like using that.
Anyone, like much less somebody who doesn't.
And especially repeatedly, making it a point to be like, I am this, if that's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, who else? So I know two of the people. So you said they're suing two TikTokers and two YouTube. The two YouTubers are the girls from the podcast.
Do We Know Them? Yeah, they have a podcast called Do We Know Them, which I love. I don't think you watch it, but I really enjoy it.
I watch some of them, some here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, they cover a lot of the same kinds of things that we cover.
I always think they're in the same room. It pisses me off.
I know. I could never. We could never.
No, we have a long way to go before we do that.
No.
Who are the TikTokers?
Caffeinated Kitty, and then there's
the wellness check on.
Mm-hmm. And then I believe the other one's name is Rebecca Day. I think she does sort of like TikTok like drama commentary, or like news,
Caffeinated Kitty.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
So there's a GoFundMe. I personally did contribute because I don't think either of these suits, like I personally don't want to have a social media environment where these kinds of things go forward.
Absolutely not.
It's
dangerous for everybody.
It's not, in my opinion, it would not be a good legal precedent, and it's also just like way too far, in my opinion. Yes. Like if you have internet beef, like talk shit in the DMs, complain to your group Zoom. Chat, if you
talk it there,
yeah. Save your copyright strikes for people who are doing full-on uploads with no commentary, who are just literally like stealing your content whole cloth. Like, don't.
That does happen, and that's valid to want that taken down.
Take those down, because that's freebooting and it's shitty. But
people commenting, and just a clip of a TikTok.
Yeah, it seemed, in my opinion, it was way out of line.
Yikes.
Bad decorum, if nothing else. Bad social media etiquette, minimally.
I wonder, as a judge, are they like reviewing their cases and they're like, what? Are you serious? Or if they're like, ooh, something different.
Well, and I'm like, should I say this? I don't know if
I'm gonna throw it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to say this because I don't want to speculate. So in my lay legal understanding, I know that some states have statutes called anti-slap statutes, which if, like, let's say that there's a big company trying to suppress a bad review of their product. If they try to sue this person who put a bad review of their product for, like, I don't know, tortious interference or whatever, if they're doing it to silence them, like if the purpose is to silence speech, you can counterclaim under this anti-slap statute and like punish the person who sued you, basically, for purposely bringing something to silence your speech. So it's sort of like a counterclaim, or it's a way to get things dismissed more quickly. I'm not clear if this would fall under that or not, and I don't know where these are filed.
I don't know what. I'm not touching these. I don't know.
I don't know.
You like froze, and then it like kicked me out.
I don't know. Anyway, I just was saying, like, I don't know if that is a route that could come into play here, depending on where it was filed and what those statutes are like. But anyway, all that to say, watch this space.
What state she is?
I have no idea. I know.
I feel like the Midwest, but I don't know. That's just a random guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I know one of the Do We Know Them girls is in California and the other one's in Georgia, but I don't know where Caffeinated Kitty is. I don't know where So we'll see.
Yeah, I am interested to see how this plays out, especially with it being like I don't know how cross-state, interstate law works, or this, or even if that even matters, if it'll get that far, like if it.
I don't know. I don't
But
know.
yeah, in my opinion, this seems like it went too far for something with people just commenting on internet happenings.
Yeah. Hashtag too far. Hashtag in our opinion.
Yeah, big hashtag. Opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, that is our TikTok episode. As Jess coined it, TikTok roundup.
It's interesting over there. I just want to say that I've watched some TikToks. Of course, Christmas, so there's been lots of people unwrapping presents, and my favorites have been really grateful children, because I'm just like, this one little girl, she got a pink Stanley and she started crying. I was like, oh. And then this one other girl, her parents, they're taking her to Dollywood, and she was so happy.
That is a reason to cry. That is tears of joy. Yeah.
Yes. So,
I love that.
I was like,
well, this
makes some stuff over there.
Hopefully people are getting into the groove of a new year well, because when this goes up, we'll be in 2024.
Oh my God!
So where can people find you on the internet in 2024?
OMG, I'm leaving! Just kidding. Same old, the Googles, aka YouTube, Jess Owens, and I'll plug my Patreon here. Patreon/Jess Owens. But then Instagram and TikTok said by Jess. That's it. Those are my only places.
Same for me. Just
if I join Threads in 2024, we'll see.
It is getting messy over there.
So
messier by the day. Every day now. I've seen people with terrible takes about like bookish consumerism.
Oh God.
If you boycott this author, you have to it's like it's growing. I'm like, oh man, it's healing. Book Twitter is healing on book threads. Oh, nature is returning.
Once you said consumerism, I'm like, hold up now. I might have to.
I might have to log on in.
All you have to do is say they started talking about audiobooks or not reading, and I'm gonna sign up.
I mean, I've not seen that one yet, but I'll let you know when I see it. But I'm there. I'm on Threads as at Books Like Woe, and I'm also all those places that just said as at Books Like Woe.
So find us, follow us, love us, support us, please.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't think we know yet what we're talking about, but you'll know when we do.
Yep.
So
stay tuned.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.